One of the questions I get all the time is how do you move from one workaway to another without spending a fortune on motels? It's not luck, it's planning. Steve here, Street Smart. This is the On the Ground volunteering series where I answer your questions about volunteering and traveling. So this week, a specific question from a viewer. Please do a video on how you move from one workaway to the other to reduce time spent in motels. I am planning on copying you and travel in my retirement next year. First of all, that's awesome to hear. Glad you're thinking about that, and I hope you pull the trigger on it and follow through because it's amazing. It gives you stuff to do in retirement. You can be on the road, you can volunteer for a while and then travel for a while and bounce back and forth, or like me, you could be volunteering pretty much full time. So I will answer this question, address this concern across 3 different domains. 1, plan your next host in advance. 2, build flexibility into your schedule. And 3, always have a backup plan. I don't just use these principles when I'm planning volunteer gigs. I use these when I'm traveling. I'm now in my 4th year with Workaway down here in South America, and my system gets better every year. Point number 1, plan your next host early. I always reach out to hosts in advance. So ideally a month in advance, but at least 2 weeks. That doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes my travel plans change or the host has something that changes and I've got to bust a move and maybe I only have a week or less to try to line something up. More lead time is better. Anything more than a month, especially down here, and people are looking at you, why are you planning this far in advance? Nobody plans that far in advance in Latin culture. Nobody. You can confirm an approximate arrival date, saying my dates are flexible, I may stay a little longer, I might be delayed, I might get there early, but at least give them a few days heads up when you have confirmation of dates, so at least you're on the same page. Be honest, the travel plans can change. It happened to me recently. I was supposed to go to volunteer at an opportunity down in the Amazon, and there was a family emergency and the host had to cancel. So I had another one lined up that I was going to first. I just ended up staying there for much longer than I thought I was going to initially, and that ended up being probably the best time that I've had as a volunteer. I did a video on that recently, and that was about staying open. I ended up volunteering and translating on tours through the Amazon. I think I did 6 or 7 different tours. It was unbelievable. Not saying that's going to happen to you, but because I was flexible with my time and I booked ahead, that was an opportunity. So set your expectations to say, I'll probably be there around this date. That might change a bit. Is that a good fit with you? And the host will let you know, yes, or can we make this date or change this or whatever. The key takeaway here is to always know what's coming next. Point 2, build flexibility into your schedule. It's a good idea to leave a few days between placements, just in case. Plus, it's not a bad idea if you're leaving one workaway and traveling to a different part of the country or a different country and starting another workaway. Give yourself time for travel in case things go sideways, and maybe a day or 2 to actually go out and enjoy yourself. Maybe you want to check out some attractions in the new place or in the old place. I usually try to leave on a Friday and arrive for a Monday, or maybe arrive on Sunday so I'm ready to go for Monday morning. And over time, you'll develop your own rhythm and say, okay, I like having a couple days between, or maybe I want to volunteer for a month and then travel for a week, or whatever it is. It's going to be different every time, and you will find a rhythm that suits you best when you're on the road. The key takeaway here is to not schedule yourself so tightly that one travel delay or one thing changing derails your plans entirely. Build in a cushion. I've talked about this in other videos. This is margin of safety when it comes to time. Point 3, always have a backup plan. I borrowed this idea from the preppers. They say 3 is 2, 2 is 1, 1 is none. So if I'm going to a placement and something happens, like it did in the Amazon recently, there's a family emergency, the host had to leave the country and go take care of this. They gave me 2 days notice before I was supposed to show up, not to their gig, but to that region. And luckily for me, I had a different host lined up first, and I just stayed longer there. It worked out for me. But I always like to know wherever I'm arriving, there's going to be a hotel or probably multiple hotels around the bus terminal. And if something goes sideways, I know I'm going to have a place to stay for the night. In almost 4 years of being down here, I've never ran out of options in terms of having a place to stay. I've never had to sleep on a park bench or in a bus terminal, nothing like that. Down here, generally, I can find a hotel, like a private room with a private bath for $10 US. Maybe $12 depending where I am, and in the bigger cities that'll cost a bit more. Remember that inexpensive accommodation is always available, and you can just show up. You don't need a reservation unless there's a big festival or something going on. That happened to me one time in Otavalo up north in Ecuador, and I had to take a bus and go to the next town over, and I had some friends there, and I ended up staying at their place. So at this point, I have a Rolodex with a ton of contacts all over the country. I didn't have that when I first got here, but that's something you will build over time. And a night or two in a hotel, especially when it's unexpected, I look at that as an opportunity to explore a place as opposed to an additional expense. Realistically, it's both. So the key takeaway is that contingencies, having plan B, C, D, always reduce stress and they give you more options. And for me, more options is more peace of mind. Some street smart takeaways: plan ahead, stay flexible, keep communicating with your host, the one that you're going to, in case plans change, and their plans might change as well. Keep that in mind. Always build in a buffer of time, because travel sometimes goes smoothly and sometimes doesn't. And always, always, always have a plan B, and I would say C and D. Have multiple contingency plans in place. That'll give you a lot of options. Like I said before, after a few placements, you'll develop a rhythm that fits your travel style. You'll know, do I want to have more time built in between gigs, or do I want to go right from one to the next? Some hosts are more reliable and more flexible. Just have a basic plan, stay flexible, and keep your options open with multiple contingency plans. In over 3.5 years of volunteering around South America, I have never found myself with nowhere to sleep. There's always options. It could be somebody that I know in that area. If I know a day or two in advance, I'll contact them. Hey, can I stay at your place? I usually pay them to stay in their place, and that's usually $10 a night. And if not, there's a bus terminal I'm going to be near, and there's going to be a bunch of hotels around there that are inexpensive. Very simple. They're not fancy. But for one night, I don't care. I would also say plan in pencil, not in ink. So that comes in with the flexibility piece. Know that plans, no matter how carefully you make plans, things are going to change. If you got any other questions about volunteering or anything else I've covered on the channel, I think this is video number 160 in about 21 months. And the on-the-ground videos are usually short 5 to 8 minute videos where I unpack very actionable insights and information that you can use immediately, whether you're planning on going on the road and traveling or you're already on the road. Thanks for stopping by. Stay safe out there. Travel smart. Happy trails. See you on the ground next week.